Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Back at with you with part two here with Diego now.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
lot of fun topics. I was raving about basketball this whole weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the Clippers and the Pelicans. We'll talk about that later.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm so glad I tuned in to the Mavs and Nuggets on St. Patrick's Day. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
go to Chicago because I went the previous week and didn't want to waste gas. And I was like, yeah, I shot around at the gym a couple hours before, got some hops up, and then it's only natural. I was like, hey, I want to put on a good basketball game. ABC always has good games on Sunday, and Mavs and Nuggets was just I loved it. I was like I was like texting in all caps to Diego like after the game because it
Yeah.
was just I it was the first time in a while I like sat down and I enjoyed a ton of basketball. And oh
Mm-hmm.
shoot, I don't like that look. Middleton took a hard fall.
Ooh,
Yeah,
tough.
that's hope he's okay. They're out with Giannis right now, but
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah. But I'm watching the Boston Celtics and Milwaukee Bucks as I'm doing the intro here. Um, but Celtics are up by 11 with about a minute, more than a minute, 67 seconds left in the half. Um, they're trying to hold their own without Giannis, but I think it's tough because Celtics are the most well-rounded team in the NBA.
Yeah.
But yeah, enough about me rambling. How are you, Diego?
Pretty good. I didn't get to like watch that game. Sadly, I was driving back, but my friend that was driving with me, he had it. I like we put it on my phone, and we were just kind of listening to it, and I got to see the last shot like out of the corner of my eye while driving, and it was amazing. I was not expecting that, so definitely nice. Good win for the Mavs, and now we'll talk about it later, but kind of on a little heater, so we'll see.
Let's start with earlier in the week. I think we last talked Wednesday, and then you were still catching up with the Mavs and Warriors game.
Hmm.
I didn't get a chance to watch this. What did you see that definitely stood out, or things we should take away? Because Warriors are the last seed remaining
Hmm.
in the play-in spot, I think,
10
with
seed,
the
yeah.
Rockets like on their heels, and then the
Hmm.
Mavs are like trying to get out of it, but it's very tough. Like I think the four teams in the play-in right now are the Suns, the Mavs, the Lakers, and then
The
the
Warriors.
Warriors, and three of those teams I would have not expected to see in the play-in because
Hmm.
they have like superstar caliber players like all over the roster. But yeah,
Yeah.
talk to me about Mavs and Warriors.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Suns later, but Mavs Warriors, this was kind of a tight game, kind of worrisome because Luca didn't play in the last few minutes. He didn't pull, but he felt some tightness in his left hamstring. The injury has kind of been not happening, but he's been dealing with throughout the season. So it was definitely difficult in the end. Just Kyrie, Hardaway, Kleba, PJ Washington having to end the game. But it was good. I think the biggest thing was just playing hard, and that's what we did throughout most of it, especially the end. We needed that there, and no Steph Curry for the Warriors. So this was a must-win game, and although it was kind of difficult at times, we pulled it out exactly when we needed to. So that was big, and it kind of I don't want to say it started this run, but we're kind of like extending a good run, staying hot. When we really need it most, we have a low strength of schedule. We need to win as many games as possible. So this is great. This is great for us. Good win, especially with Luca not playing and then not playing the next day on the second night of a back to back.
Yeah, it's kind of tough that the triple double streak ended there, but
Yeah.
I mean he still put a lot of like I like how he's not like actively looking for the triple double. It's just like what the
Hmm.
teams are
It's natural.
expecting. Yeah, yeah, um it's very nice to see. Kind of unexpected to see Wiggins score 17 points.
Yeah.
It's they have a lot of trouble on the road um, for the large part, and I think
Hmm.
Dallas, like from what I've seen on Sunday, that is not a team you want to be facing on the road. I feel like that's a very dangerous environment.
Hmm.
Um, and you wouldn't think there's no like external. It's not like Denver. It's not like
Yeah.
something difficult you have to go on. But like Dallas has notoriously had like a rabid fan base
Hmm.
and whatnot. So I
Yeah.
have to grab my charger before my laptop's about to die. I am all sorts of messed up today. Sorry, Diak.
No, you're good. I'm pulling up some of the stuff for it. But yeah, I think in this game as well. Let me check the team stats. I think we won on the rebounding. Oh no, we tied the rebounding. Was it points in the paint? Yeah, we demolished
Really?
them. We
Wow.
had 20 more points in the paint.
I'm not surprised about the points in the paint, but I'm surprised by the rebounding. I would have not expected that.
Yeah, I think. The big thing as well is we shot 6 of 27 from deep and still won by 10 points, which is huge. So also out assisted them, outstocked them, like destroyed them. They had 12, we had 19 stocks. So very nice, very nice.
I'm
This is a
looking at
good
some of
game.
the
I think.
shooting stats for the Warriors too. Like
Hmm.
that was like not who Kaminga had the most shot attempts,
Yeah,
by a
a lot of
long
mid
shot. He had
ranges.
17. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Klay Thompson didn't have a good night, 3 of 13. Chris Paul didn't have a good night, 4 of 12.
Hmm.
Wiggins 5 of 12, even though he had 17. Like just Pojetski with 4 steals. I did not see that coming.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I'm looking at these stats here. I'm like, it sounds like the Mavs' defense has gotten a lot better. And
Hmm.
um, like we can talk about the Nuggets game like later on, but like I saw
Yeah.
that. I saw like defensive schemes
Hmm.
like
Scheming.
sought out to limit Jokic, like no matter how like ineffective it was, but like
Mhm.
they're making an effort on the defensive end, and I think the stats show that from the Warriors game, even though I didn't see it.
No, yeah, definitely. I guess the only negative part besides the shooting, which he kind of can't control, is same amount of turnovers, but we had only 11 points off turnovers. They had 21. Transition defense definitely could be a struggle, but it depends on the turnover. You know, live ball turnovers are literally a shot in the shot in the foot almost every time. So trying to limit those. We did go through a stretch where we were having a lot of turnovers, but I think we're kind of getting out of it. Hopefully.
Who do you
Yeah.
want at the three right now? I know Josh Green has been dealing with something, so he's not been in the starting lineup. I saw Derek Jones
Hmm.
starting at least against the Nuggets, and he was
Yeah.
flashing a lot.
Hmm.
Do you like him at the three, or do you think like you should double down on size even more, and then like start lively at the three, as wild as it sounds, because of the effort he
Jeez.
gives you?
I wouldn't think so. Quick thing on Josh Green, he actually rolled his ankle against in the next game against the Thunder. Literally on like Lively's foot, which is so terrible. Like he was on the floor writhing in pain, so that's tough.
Oh,
Hopefully it's better. He's wearing a boot yesterday against the Spurs, so that's something to look at. But I would say Derrick Jones Jr. at the three is probably our best bet now, just because his athleticism gives a whole nother dimension. We've talked about this before. The way he's able to like catch lobs, and especially with Luca's passing ability, he in on one play he just is cutting on a fast break and just gets an easy lob from Luca from the other side of the court on the fast break. So it's just that athletic ability. I don't think is matched by almost any other small forward in the league. Maybe Jalen Johnson, but he's more power forward. Still pretty good, and his defense is reasonable. He's not clamps locked down, but he's pretty good. And I think being a star is going to give him more experience there, so that's going to be important.
I mean, yeah, and it's not like teams are actively seeking him out because everybody
Hmm.
wants to seek out Luca,
Yeah.
like on defense. So like you can kind of lean into Derek Jones to give you that different offensive dimension.
Hmm.
But I from what I've seen from him on the Bulls and then just like his natural physical stature, like he's a guy like I would probably want to put my center and my power forward on and at least like try to see if I can get some easy pain points on him. That would
Yeah.
probably be the only weakness I see in him right now. But I think for the offensive firepower he gives,
Hmm.
like even though he's not known for he's known for his like attacking style and really
Hmm.
like injecting energy in that offense. I like it. I
Hmm.
like it. Like
Yeah.
if you sat here and like looked at the Mavs moves from like the trade deadline
Hmm.
and like their shift away from like Grant Williams, it's like they're not going with the names that are like, oh yeah, this is a team we gotta worry. Like besides Kyrie Irving, like
Yeah.
besides that, like they really focus on like looking at themselves and saying, what do we need to address in the specific area, and then they've addressed it
Hmm.
with confident players.
Yeah.
And I think if we add like confident players around Luca, like it's shown us like a couple of years ago when he was in the finals, it was like pretty much Luca just like carrying the entire team. And
Hmm.
now this looks like a more well-rounded roster. So um, like I saw Kendrick Perkins call them out as a dangerous team.
Hmm.
I think Tim Legler, one of my favorite guys
Yeah.
to listen to, talk about bass. I could probably listen to him for hours.
Hmm.
Like he talked about the Mavs. Like I think this team is real. This team is for real. Like not
Hmm.
just because you're on here. I think
Yeah.
the way they've been playing has been amazing.
Yeah. Tim Legler has kind of been a pro Mavs guy even before when Kyrie was still going through injuries and trying to get on the court. He was saying like we we don't know what this team is really without Kyrie, and now we have Kyrie. We've kind of bought in on size, which I think we've seen its effect now. Winning on the rebounding, out rebounding the Nuggets, which we'll talk about later, and points in the paint and such. Daniel Gafford, I mean, he went on a 33 straight field goals made run that could, if he made three more, he would have beaten Wilt's record. So, uh,
Oh, that's what that was.
yeah.
I thought he had like 33 straight like point buckets or like he had like I saw that set. I was like, what? Wait, what did Gaffer do? That was just
Hmm.
wild.
Yeah, and it's literally like Luca makes the game easy. I mean, Derek Lively, a guy that no one knew coming out of Duke because he didn't have the players around him. If he had Luca, obviously he wouldn't have Luca in college, but if he had even a semblance of a reasonable point guard at Duke, he would have been way higher. And I think the the ROI, the return on investment of tanking last year to get us Derek Lively, who right now is slightly worse than Daniel Gafford, a veteran in the league, and Derek Lively being a seven
He has a
footer.
huge ceiling in
His
his
ceiling
career.
is through the roof, and very excited. Getting comparisons to Tyson Chandler is something crazy, and I'm excited to see where that goes. So, and Eurostep as well. We'll talk about that later, but
Oh yeah, that Euro step was just like nah. Like you don't see many power forwards do that as effortlessly as he did. I
yeah.
think with Lively, it's just like he's not making the typical rookie mistakes as a rookie.
Hmm.
Like I think like the moments when like the team really had to lean on him because they didn't have like
Yeah.
the personnel to really roll out big lineups. I know you touched upon that a lot in the beginning of the
Hmm.
season.
Yeah.
Like I think that's helped him out a lot, but also like she's just always in the right spot at the right time. Like he's giving
Hmm.
positive effort. Um
No, yeah.
again, we keep bringing the Nuggets game into it because it's most recently probably their
Yeah.
most impressive win. But like defensively, he's been holding his own against like a lot of the elite bigs in the league, and like he's not the only big that's impressed on these Mavs. Like
Hmm.
they're suddenly a very deep team, and I didn't think I'd be saying this when they trade away
Yeah.
Seth Curry, and then Grant
Grant.
Williams, and then like
Who else?
it's they've done a great job.
Hmm.
Can't compliment them enough.
No, yeah. And I like this is the first time in Luca's career that we have an actual center. We've had JaVale McGee, Willie Cauley Stein. Like we've had they're centers, yeah, but they're not good centers per se. They're guys who've kind of just
Willie Cauley-Stein is really disappointed in my
yeah.
opinion. He was supposed to have
He
a
was a
ton of
high.
potential.
He was drafted over Luca, right? Wasn't he? Or was that no? That was Marvin Bagley. Never mind. Wrong
Bagley,
King
yeah,
center
Bagley.
that didn't do anything in the league. But what was I gonna say? That was too good of a roast that I can't even. It had to do with the trade. Oh man. Uh,
For Gafford or Washington?
I don't know, but like just this is a huge moment because now Luca can just set these guys up. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. Derek Lively has not only like beat Wemby every single time they've played, but like last night against the Spurs, no turnovers, had the same amount of points. Like I don't know, we got a Lively or a Wemby stopper right here in Lively, so and he's like in some sort of draft like redrafting of the 2023 draft. Like Derek Lively is kind of like the second guy behind Wemby because he's completely like over not overshot, but he's exceeded expectations so much. So love it. I need a Lively jersey now. One of those black ones.
He's
So
living up to his last name, man. Like he brings a lot of energy on the floor,
yeah.
and like like he and Derek Jones Jr. have really like from a
Mm-hmm.
culture perspective, and like from like just a team dynamic, like they brought something that the Mavs like have needed.
Yeah.
Because like it felt like that team was very dead, and like it was really leaning on like Luca and like Jalen Brunson when he was there, and then like a
Yeah.
tad bit of Tim Hardaway. It didn't feel like they were well like round like Kleba would always like be valiant, but
Mm-hmm.
like you would feel bad for him getting matched up on Steph Curry in the conference
No,
finals. It's like now
tough.
if you look at this team, it's like I mean, it's still gonna be hard to bat, but like PJ Washington's been guarding guards and wings and stuff. Like he's
Mhm.
comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Lively like has been locking down some of the elite bigs that can get out on the perimeter and like shoot the elbow jumpers that classically they have space against Lively. They don't have space and like they can't make the same
Mhm.
moves like they used to making on other bigs. So
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
definitely exciting. It was an exciting game. Especially winning without Luca in the end there. Very nice. Oh, you're muted. You've been muted. Okay, you got it. All right. I'm gonna see. Is there anything in this box score? I
Let's
think.
you want to talk about Pelicans and Clippers just a couple days
Yeah, I'm
after.
down.
So
I didn't.
um
Let me pull it up. I didn't watch it.
yeah,
This was when I was just getting to Chicago, so I didn't. Sadly, can watch. I was watching too much college basketball. It's kind of the thing now.
I gotta fill up my bracket. I haven't been watching at all.
Yeah, you have
Um
like a day.
but my only takeaway from this is I want to watch Casey the guy from Nebraska,
Oh, Tominaga. Casey
Tominaga.
Tominaga.
Like, I just pulled up his Michigan highlights, and I
Played
was
in
like,
Michigan.
this dude can shoot from anywhere off the dribble. Like, I was just like, wow. Like, Bevy, they calling him the Japanese Steph Curry, but like, I'm watching him, and I'm like, I'm just like, he's he already has the talent that Dame Lillard and Steph Curry has in the college game.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that he wears 30 is like crazy, and I'm just like, how did they not win the Big Ten title with this team? I know Purdue's always been like ranked like at the top, but like this team has like Tominaga like makes it look easy, and like I think they're a sleeper team because like
Yeah,
he could easily pull like a Elite Eight run just by his performance alone. It's just
it's true.
it's crazy, man. Like I'm just excited to watch him play because like I want to see like where he gets drafted now.
Yeah. But speaking about Big Ten tournament real quick, Purdue actually didn't even make it to the final, lost to Wisconsin, and the team that won were the Illinois Fighting Illini. Remember that. Remember that in this tournament. But anyway, yes, we can
Looking
move
like
on.
a true alumni there
Yes,
for
sir.
sure.
Got a rep. I
I
got a
don't even
banner
think
coming.
Rutgers is anywhere close. Like now, I
No,
don't know how
yeah.
well they've done. I haven't kept tabs. Um, Pro sports, I know a lot. College, I don't watch a ton.
Hmm.
Probably gonna make up my bracket. If I didn't give up on betting, like for Lent,
True.
I would have bit a bet on like every upset possible because I feel like that's probably the best moment to cash out because you know an
Yeah.
upset's gonna happen in this tournament. So
Hmm. No, yeah. We'll see. But yeah, I'm down Lake or Pelicans Clippers. Clippers have just been so down bad recently, to be honest.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I thought I thought they played well in this game. I thought
Hmm.
Kawhi did everything he could do, like from Raptors standpoint, to like keep them in the game.
Oh
Like
man, yeah.
they were playing without Harden, so that's also another element of their offense. And Westbrook's been hurt, so I think they've
Hmm.
been dealing a little bit with that. But I want to say this is good Pelicans. Like I haven't watched a single game of theirs this season,
Me
and
neither.
I've not been high on them. Like just watching them in the standings and watching like the other teams, not necessarily them. I had a reality check when I watched the Pelicans, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, wow. At times, their defense looked better than the Clippers, and
Hmm.
like I was just in shock. I was just in shock at like how well integrated like Zion, Brandon Ingram are. Like
Hmm.
that whole like Herb Jones. Like Herb
Yeah.
Jones has become one of the best like wing defenders in the league, and I can't believe I'm saying this because like there's so many good wings. Like
Hmm.
we just talked about Ananobi, like a guy that's coming out and
True.
like getting strong, but like Herb Jones is locking down guys. He's in the vicinity. Like it was, it was just a magical game, like for the Pelican. And like we talked about Dallas as a home stadium. If like the Pelicans get a top four seed and eclipse the Timberwolves, like look out, especially if like one of these play-in teams like makes starts making a run and it, like
Hmm.
the stars are lining up for them, and they're a very dangerous team right now. Like that's all I gotta say because like they got toughness from everywhere, from like Alvarado, like they got a veteran
Yeah.
scorer and like McCollum who can quietly get 20 like any night. They already got like the thing I was worried about was Zion, whether Zion could play like a
Hmm.
second number one option because that's really what's going to make this team like over the top. With Brandon Ingram and like Zion are putting 30 a night, and then you got like the toughness from Valanciunas on top of like there's a lot like the as far as like the Pelicans had to play up to their potential. They were not hitting it because of Zion's habits, but
Hmm.
like now they are, and it's just I'm just amazed by it. Like this is about good Pelicans to me.
No, yeah. I think the biggest thing is their offense. They're now kind of back to point Zion, which is huge. And especially him. Supposedly he's lost 25 pounds since the beginning of the season. Don't know how true that is. It's just something I've heard on podcasts. But seeing some plays of his, some lobs, and I think one big play I've heard about is sort of what's a Trey Murphy kind of setting a screen, going up to set a screen for Zion, but then kind of ghosting it where he gets there to set it, and right as he's about to like make contact with the other with the defender guarding Zion, he just cuts out, and then either you focus too much on Trey Murphy because he's gonna shoot a three when he gets the ball and be if he's wide open. So you either focus on Trey too much, leave the lane for Zion, or you obviously focus on Zion and Trey's wide open. So
And
they've really
sometimes
been,
even when like teams are playing for the drive, like Zion's
mhm,
still getting there.
yeah.
Like, and he's not bulldozing people. He's using finesse, which is more
Mhm.
impressive to me.
Yeah, and his athleticism, his speed, like he's still like super fast somehow, and he's like he's like the like Charles Barkley in that sense, like the round mound of just getting to the rim, man. You can't, and there's no way you can body him or stop him really when he really wants to get to the rim. Let me see. I want to see how many points he had in this game because I think that was a big
Yeah,
thing.
Zion had 34. Looking at the stats now, Brandon Ingram had 13, and they still
Yeah.
won that game. Like, like Kawhi was gonna be on Brandon Ingram. That's the one
Hmm.
guy you definitely got to hold down. But
Jeez.
like,
Yeah.
just mm, like it's really is point Zion if you look at like the shot distribution.
Hmm.
Like let's see, I think he had 21 shot attempts. Like a lot, like he didn't take any threes because that's not his game.
Yeah,
And
that
like
is insane.
I saw somebody like note that on the podcast, like, oh, just make Zion shoot from three. Like he's not been shooting three like as frequently. And I was just like, that's not how he plays. Like
Yeah.
let him be him. Like he dominated at Duke. Like he shot some threes and stuff, but like he was
Hmm.
blocking 3-point shots. He was dominating in the paint, dunking. Like that's what he does best. Let him do what he does best. They
Hmm.
have enough shooters and like guys around him to make threes and stuff. Like he was proving like even if you go out to sell him like from getting into the paint, he's still gonna get
Hmm.
there.
No,
So
yeah.
that's what makes this team dangerous.
Yeah, if you try to Draymond Ben Simmons him, like give him space, like that's just a runway, and that's scary. And I
Yeah.
think one other thing that we need to bring up is, uh, of all the starters, only one is sub 30 minutes, Jonas Valanciunas, and you have two bench guys, Larry Nance Jr. with 28 minutes, and Trey Murphy the third with 32. And in this game, he only had 14 points, but he shot 4 of 9 from deep. That 44% from deep is crazy, and this is
Great
something he's
shooting,
kind
man.
of doing consistently. So I think especially Point Zion's really cooking here, and that's gonna be big for them in the playoffs. We'll see how far they get. I'm definitely interested in this team, and especially I think a big thing, like you said, they could take home court advantage over the Clippers here. They're really close in the standings as the Clippers have had Harden injured. Kawhi had that came out of that game for back spasms. I think he's still playing. He's okay, but oh, there's also chatter of Eastern Conference teams kind of looking at Paul George if things don't work out with the Clippers. He hasn't signed an extension with the Clippers, meaning that why hasn't it been done? So some teams are kind of looking at that and
Could you imagine him
monitoring.
back in Indiana, dude? Him
No,
and
that would be
Halliburton.
great. That would be that wow. No, write that down. I want like if that's a call right now, that would be great.
Yeah,
That would be
I
hella
don't
crazy.
know if it's gonna happen. Like because he did get out of the organization, so like very rarely do you see him come back. But
Hmm.
that would be something. I wanted to touch on one of their role players.
Hmm.
Didn't get a lot of minutes. He had the same amount of minutes as Jose Alvarado, but like for the minutes I've seen like Najee Marshall play,
Oh yeah.
like his stats like are pretty normal.
Hmm.
But like when you watch him play, like he gives like Zion the minutes he needs of rest and everything like that. I think
Hmm.
the reason I bring him up is it's emblematic that this is a very deep team. Like you look at some of the guards that largely stood out. Like McCollum, Herb Jones, like Trey Murphy, they're getting around the same amount of time. Like Larry Nance is like the main backup. But like if you gotta have a guy like Marshall playing the way he is, like that's really gonna allow like Williamson and Valanciunas to be as aggressive as they are, because um like he offers you like stats in every regard. Like
Mhm.
he had two defensive rebounds,
Yeah.
one assist, one steal, like 3 of 8 from field goal. That's like okay. 2 of 5 from three
Yeah.
point range.
That's the important one.
That's that's good. Like really good to shoot 40% from 3 point range. But like the fact that he's willing to take them and he's making them, like that allows like you can play him with Nance and be fine. Like the worst comes to worst. You need a shortcut like Williamson's minutes or like Valanciunas minutes because of foul trouble. That's super important. And like we've been talking about like Nas Reed as one of the best like bench big mans in the league because like
Mhm.
the drop off from him to Towns or like Gobert is not as steep as what you might think with superstars on the at those bigs. And I think we're kind of seeing the same thing with the Pelicans here to a lesser degree, but a very important one if you think about their play style and like how like aggressive Valanciunas and Williamson can be. Like Williamson for the offensive end, but Valanciunas from the defensive end. Like there's chances where they can get in deep foul trouble, but like even in those situations, like I think this team is fine because like you have to think about multiple things when you play the Pelicans.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I've heard he's also a good defender. Uh, so he definitely adds to this team, Najee Marshall. I remember first seeing it and I was like, who even is that, bro? But
The
now
Nats just kept calling him by Najee all the time. They're like
by
Najee,
Najee.
Najee, Najee. I'm like, who on the Pelicans roster has the last name of Najee? Never heard of him, and it's
Yeah.
really just Najee Marshall.
Yeah. So that's good for him. I don't know if he came. I feel like he came off a two-way or somehow from the G League, but I could be wrong. But yeah, very interesting team. Giving Clippers a run for their money. We'll see. If I'm the Clippers, I would be kind of scared because again, like I don't know if Kawhi matches up that well with Zion, and then if not him, who else? So we'll see.
Yeah, no. Just looking at Najee Marshall, I think he's 3 years in the league.
Hmm.
Wow, he's older than me by like a little more than a year. Didn't expect that. It's kind of crazy to think about with these NBA players now. Um,
Yeah,
Undrafted, out of
there
Xavier,
we
but
go. Yeah,
like
there we go.
6'6", 220 pounds, like
Big
that
boy.
speaks like really big, like small forward to me, but he plays like a big, like you can
Hmm.
use him in pick and rolls and stuff like that, and that's
Yeah,
what's really impressive.
big body bends. But yeah, sounds good.
Alrighty, um, I heard Tim Legler like get way too heated about the Suns on the JJ Redick podcast. By the way, I'm really excited to see JJ Redick and LeBron
Yo,
on
that
the
is
new project
fire.
behind the
That
game.
is
That is
straight
gonna be
fire.
like again, no reason to bring this up, but I feel like I have to say it. LeBron is one of the best players of all time. Okay, all
The
right.
goat. That's why
I
he's the
feel no.
goat.
Okay, I'm not gonna go. I think Jordan's the go here, but like just the fact that like JJ was able to pull this off and like LeBron is willing to do this to like
Yeah.
talk about basketball and really get into the mind of the game. I'm really excited to see what he sees because
Hmm.
like a lot of times you watch LeBron, like stuff is like his own offense. Like he's often like running the back cuts, running the pick and rolls, finding the
Yeah.
matchups and whatnot. And like you don't see that anymore. It's a lot of just like, can you hit the corner three like
Hmm.
off of like series of passes, and it's a make or miss league and whatnot. And I really want to see like how LeBron looks at it because like he's notoriously like found ways to get to the basket and like
Hmm.
get like work on his game in different areas of the floor, and like just to see him how he likes to run the offense, like just from a guy who just like shakes his head at D'Lo when like he tried to pass it to him and just passes it back,
Yeah.
um, just like the little funny moments like that, like, and then also like how he thinks about the game. That would be an exciting thing to watch.
Yeah. The first episode, if you everyone mind the game podcast, watch it. Watch it on YouTube because they show some clips when they describe plays. It's a little bit better. Very like I watched that and I was completely like locked in and it was amazing. It really and at the beginning, JJ Redick is just like, this is this is sort of he's like, I love the game, I love studying it, fully understanding it, seeing how it evolves, and I was like, that resonated with me because that's how I feel, and I'm really excited. Like, there's a tweet he put out like. I could have a podcast about just basketball strategy and whatnot and plays and what, and that wouldn't get nearly the views that something talking about like the drama between players would be. And that kind of hurt me because like me, I would be all up in that, and that's exactly why this podcast feels like it was made for me and for us that like love basketball for real. So
Yeah.
just had to plug that. Everyone watch it if you really love if you don't love basketball, I mean you could watch it, but you might not get the same out of it. So yeah,
I
a
feel
little
like
back.
we're trying to get there now with like talking about like how like talking about here on like how players are getting their points and like their
Hmm.
tendencies and their traits. I feel like we leaned on that. It's really hard for us to like get game footage and like share it and go like conceptually on like why we care. Maybe at some point, maybe when
Hmm.
we figure out this podcast structure and whatnot. But like
Yeah.
it's it's you, but also at the same time, like I'm not JJ Redick, I'm not
Oh
Tim
yeah.
Legler, I'm not LeBron, I'm not Ben Taylor from Thinking Back. I'm not any
Ben
of them.
Taylor's him.
Like
Oh yeah.
we're just people who like played a lot of basketball, watched NBA like since childhood and stuff, and like just like these are the
Hmm.
things we pick up and like think about like as we play or like as we watch as like people who love just talking about basketball itself. So like just having another avenue like that,
Yeah.
love to talk about it. But um
Suns.
anyway, where I was going with that was like Tim Lekler really did not like the effort the Suns put forth. I did not watch this game, but like I saw the box score and I was just like, without Giannis, the Suns
Yeah.
lose like this and give up like I think it was
Or was
148
it?
points. Like it was
Hmm.
like you watched it, not me. So what happened?
Yeah. I mean, big thing was the game was kind of. I don't want to say it was close the whole time. First half, the Bucks were really cooking. I was just like, oh, this is looking great for me because trying to boost the Mavs getting out of the playing chances with the Suns losing and whatnot. But I think a big thing was the Suns kind of did come back a little bit. They were pushing, kind of, I don't want to say stressing out, but really putting some pressure on the Bucks. And without Giannis, I don't. Yeah, it was Lillard and Portis, right? They
Yeah,
mostly cooked.
I
But
saw they had big games.
yeah. But then in the third quarter, kind of going into the fourth, the Suns get it close. But in the end, they're just in the fourth quarter they can't do it. They for some reason can't do it, and it's a big thing. One stat or a few stats circling around now is that like the Suns Suns net rating in the fourth quarter is worst in the NBA, and the gap between them and the 29th best team is the same gap as the 29th best team, the Heat, to the eighth best team. That's a huge gap, and there's not playing well in this game. They did score 31 points in the fourth quarter, but you have a 24-point quarter. Actually, that's probably the worst quarter in the second, almost getting uh, beat by 20 there. So it's very confusing why they're not that good when you have these guys. I don't know what's going on. So very interesting. And also Portis and Dame lit them up. Portis especially was hitting some shots. So very interesting. Uh I don't know. I don't know if they're just not on the grind like that. If they just can't score. I'm not sure what's going
Five
on
of five from three. Oh my
for
goodness.
Portis.
Yeah, that was great. Like said, he had 25 first half points, hitting 10 of 13
Hmm.
shots, including 5 of 5,
Jeez.
but beyond the arc in under 13 minutes.
The Bucks
Wow.
also shot 59% from deep, so that is definitely. I was expecting them to start missing threes. Wow, and the Suns beat them in the paint by 28 points, and they still lost. That's crazy. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
interesting.
I mean, 24 threes will definitely get the job done for sure.
Yeah,
But
I think that was the biggest thing. Jeez, and you have like Chris Middleton was a minus 11. That's wild. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it could be a hustle thing, or they could be getting tired. Kevin Durant's really had a lot of load on him this season. But also, one thing that's kind of been brought to a lot of people's attention is how refing has changed since the All Star break. Less sort of small fouls called. Like if you're guarding a player like this, like not you're obviously not like super pushing them with your forearm, but kind of putting your forearm on them as you're going up. That hasn't been called as much anymore. I just watched a b-ball breakdown video on that, and a lot of people are talking about it, and this is happening. So that could be something. Like offensive players start complaining about it whenever they miss it. Like, yo, that would have been a foul before, and they're not calling it. So that could be part of it as well. It's
yeah,
definitely
I
interesting.
think the other thing, like I think the one thing I love the refing in general since the All Star break. It's been a lot
Hmm.
better.
Yeah.
I didn't notice like too many things like in the Mavs and Suns game that was blatant, but like the one calls they're still gonna stick with is like when you got the defender have his arms sticking out like on a post up or
Hmm.
like just trying to keep his arm vertical. And then
Yeah.
if you can hook under him or like
Hmm.
initiate that hook and just like go up, like not even like trying to shoot, just like move your arm up
Yeah.
so it's flated and then like flop the ball out. They're calling that a shooting foul every time.
Hmm.
And like that's good. I don't know how you resolve that. That's like a tough one to like say like call that or don't call
Hmm.
that,
Well,
because like technically the defender's not supposed to have his hands there. Like you're not
yeah.
supposed to be touching the shooting motion, but like sometimes it's like premeditated. Like you're not trying to get to a spot and score. You're trying
Hmm.
to get the defender in an compromised position to get a chance to score from the free throw line and put them in foul trouble.
No, yeah. I think that was another thing that might have changed as well. But that's I've always talked about that. Well, especially once James Harden started doing it, it's sort of like, yeah, I understand that you're kind of like the defender's arm is kind of in the space of the offensive player. But if the offensive player is just gonna like move both their arms up like that, just baiting the foul, then that doesn't make any sense. The defender isn't even entitled to his own space where his arm is. Like if it's a
Yeah.
shot, then that's valid, right? If that's a real actual shot. But if it's not a shot and you're just baiting for a foul, that doesn't make any sense. So I
The
like
one
that.
thing I like to give the best credit though, like kicking out on the 3-point line,
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of it because like some guys you can tell like, oh no, like he should have an ability to land. Like sometimes like they just like kick it out like seeking
Hmm.
the leg so
Yeah.
they can draw that. And it's just like why? You just what if you land weird? Like
Hmm.
even so, like that's just a bad
Yeah.
I feel like ever since Jaja stepped on like under like Kawhi's foot and then
Yeah.
like offensive players taking that to the other extreme, like that's
Hmm.
been like a hard thing to like discover. Like, oh, did the defender really impede? And like as a defender, trying to like block a 3-pointer,
Yeah.
like or like contest it when like
Hmm.
a guy's like sticking out his leg to try and like some guys do it as part of their form shooting,
Hmm.
so they can like if they're like not centered towards the basket with their
Yeah.
shoulders or their hips, like giving a quick rotation will get them there. Like if you're on the wing, especially that's helpful.
Hmm.
But like at the same time, as a defender, that's really hard because then you're like, I can't jump into his space. I have to kind of like go around him and like somehow
Hmm.
contest it, and then
Side
he'll still have a
contested.
clear
Yeah.
view of the basket. Like it's like it puts a defender in a very tough spot. So I'm
Actually,
glad the refs are like calling that out now.
Actually, it just happened with Terry Rozier and Isaac Okoro.
No, are you
Okoro landed in his
serious?
space, yeah. Like
Did they call that?
they caught, yeah, their feet touch. And Rozier obviously falls. Like they always try to make it fall whenever there's any sort of contact. But I and Spo challenges or no, I think the Cavs are challenging. Someone is challenging, most likely the Cavs. But yeah, like it really depends, and especially like me a right-handed player, if I'm shooting like fading towards my right and my like the rim is that way, like I can't shoot like this
You have to
towards the rim
kick your
that way.
right foot
Yeah,
out to,
you have
like,
to
get
like
yourself to
twist
look
your
for the
hips.
basket. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's part of it, and that's valid unless you like completely extend your leg to try and touch the defender.
No, but yeah, but the thing is, like, you could twist your hips, like,
Hmm.
nobody's saying you can't do it, but,
No,
like,
yeah.
it's like trying to, like, do, like, a boat position and, like,
Hmm.
make sure you get your legs as far as possible so he's like, "Hey, look, the defender is,
Yeah.
hitting me." Like, no, like, you shouldn't you shouldn't be able to, like, just shoot the ball normally, and if you get
Hmm.
impeded shooting it, then, like, that's a foul. Like,
Hmm.
it's just like taking it to the extreme, and the refs like trying to balance. I'm like, oh, was this done with
Yeah.
intention or without intention? I think the game is like gone to the point where like you need to decipher that somehow objectively,
Hmm.
and
It's
it's
tough.
it's they're put in a tough position on like some of these, like with the hook arms, with the kickouts, like
Mhm.
that's tough. But um, where
Yeah.
I was going with this, as far as like the Suns against the like I just feel like even still, like, with a lesser personnel, like, that you're facing against the Bucks, like, you you just gotta you just gotta play at the end of the and
Mhm.
it's what's shocking is, like, Devin Booker and, like, KD are, like, notorious for just being gamers, but, like, at
Yeah.
times,
Jeez.
like, the Suns have got blown out before, and it's not anything new. You know it as a Mavs fan. Like once
Yeah.
Devin Booker said Luka special, like you know
Mhm.
you know what that happened after
Yeah.
that. But like it's it's like I don't I can't take this. I really can't take the Suns seriously at that point. At
Mhm.
this point,
It's tough.
like because to me they have to get out of the play-in, like
They
to
might
be
not
taken
survive. Yeah.
seriously. Like yeah, that's my point. Like they could lose. I think the Mavericks are a better team than they are right now because they're more well-rounded and their
Mhm.
stars are playing off each other well, and like they're actually like being consistent night in night out. And then the
Mhm.
Lakers and the Warriors have been to championships, have won them in recent
Yeah.
years. Like you could, they're gonna have to get out for me to take them seriously at this point.
That's gonna be tough. Yeah, I think they have one of the higher strengths of schedules of these playing teams in the West, so they are not they're not really psyched for what they have coming. So we'll see. We'll see how they perform. I think I think in this game especially, Kevin Durant only having 11 points is kind of heinous.
That
Four of
was
10
wild.
shooting is
That
tough.
was so wild, man.
Devin Booker also didn't make a three with 5 attempts, so that doesn't help you either. Yeah, I don't know. They're also I think a big thing is their three best players are mainly mid-range shooters, and like KD was able to do it on a team that didn't really shoot mid-rangers like that. Devin Booker got to a finals being the main guy doing that. Well, with CP and Bradley Beal, I'm not gonna really talk about it because he hasn't really done much. But having three of those guys, I don't know if that changes if that's too much mid-range. Perhaps. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what the
I mean,
plan tells us.
he had an efficient performance. Like Bradley Beal,
He
11
did.
and 15. Like that's on a normal night. That's really good. Um,
Yeah, it's surprising.
I mean, I saw Bobo like give them
Yeah,
a spark a
Bobo
little
playing.
bit, like just in some of the few games I watched. But it's like I think this is not a team I'd be scared of. Like
Hmm.
maybe Royce O'Neal, like we had thought like this would be a good move for them, but like I think
Yeah.
losing a Kogi is like a big loss for this type of team. So well read like it's a team that lacks toughness right now,
Hmm.
and like it's not enough to have that toughness come from Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. You need a
No.
player
Yeah.
that like embodies that. Like
Hmm.
if you inject Patrick Beverly on this team, that's what this team needs. They need a guy like that. They need a Jay Crowder. They need a um well, who is the guy I just talked about? Josh Okogie. They need those guys on this team to add on what they already have. And like it's the games like this that show itself because it's like if one team is just raining out on you, like the tough guys are gonna like adjust to it and like figure out a way. Like it's not the solution to it. It's kind of be we we have to score 43 a quarter and then hold them to 19 or something like that.
That's
Like
tough.
that's
Yeah.
like because they did it to us. That's not gonna be a recipe.
No, yeah. We'll see what they do. I'm not sure, and I bet they're scared to get in the play and face the Mavs. Hopefully not, but we'll see.
Great segue there. Um, absolute thriller. Talked about this on Sunday. I know you had this on the card, but like one of the best Sunday games I watched this year.
Yeah.
To be brutally honest, like Dallas, great environment, great atmosphere, great
Hmm.
play. Like um, I thought Kyrie was not going to show up, and then what a way to end! Like he had a fantastic fourth quarter, and
Hmm.
then that left-handed hook shot, like floater thing.
Crazy.
I don't know what that was, but it worked, and like it looked like he put a lot of practice into it. And then the stare down at his hand after,
Yeah.
that was like, oh my goodness.
Nasty.
Did you see Luca's reaction to that?
I don't know if I did. But no,
He was
he was
just in
all
shock.
amazed.
He was
Yeah.
like by the opposite baseline. He was just in shock of what he saw. He was like, no way Kyrie made that.
Hmm.
And like
Who wouldn't be?
like when you see a play called for Kyrie like that, much less
Hmm.
him make it. Like he's a clutch player and whatnot. Like Jason
Yeah.
Kidd's got these guys on the right like the state of mind. And I just I was just that was a great game. Like we talked about Lively, we talked about
Hmm.
Gaffer, we talked about PJ Washington. Like I told you, there's a series where like Malone was getting ballistic because like
Yeah.
the Nuggets could not stop like the Mavs getting offensive rebound. I think there was like
Daniel
two or three
Gafford.
possessions when like the Mavs just got 8 offensive rebounds. One of them like being like
Jeez.
where they just got rebound after rebound after rebound, and it's just
Mhm.
I was like, you don't see this. you don't see this on the
Hmm.
Nuggets, and it's like Luca was get it like who was it that was
Guarding
I
him.
think it was KCP or like somebody was saying
Yeah.
or no, it was Aaron Gordon. It's like the one thing you gotta watch out for Luca is his step back off his left foot. And that was the one thing the Nuggets were gonna play off of. But like you just end the quarter, glides to the rim, uncontested layup. Like
Okay.
he just knows how to play off his tendencies so well.
Hmm.
Kyrie like offers a different dynamic. Like
Different
Derrick
type of score.
Jones, like Derek Lively, like making key stops on Jokic and like that was really impressive to see, like shuffling his feet, getting in position, like a lot of things
Hmm.
to like about the Mavs. And then I know the one thing you're worried about was the fourth quarter. I think that was just more like Nuggets being like championship
Yeah.
contending team, like they know how to turn it on in the fourth quarter, and the Mavs still rode that wave and somehow navigated through that. And just a brilliant game on both sides.
Yeah. I would say just the Nuggets have shown that whenever they're down, they're not out, and they came back. When I started watching with my friend after watching Illinois win the Big Ten tournament, we were up by 13 or 10, and I could just hear like, oh, the Nuggets score, oh, the Nuggets score, Mavs miss, Nuggets score, and I'm like, we're gonna flop, we're just gonna flop. Like that's fine. Like I understand it. Like this is the reigning champions. This is the best team in basketball. I was like, I'm fine with that. But then they made two huge mistakes in the end. First one, Jamal Murray shooting the shot too early, giving us a second of time, and right before that, Aaron Gordon not getting out on Luca and giving him that wide open three to tie it up is
That was
huge.
so
And
wild.
those are
Like
two rare
Luca
mistakes
could
for
have
them.
stood there for 2 seconds and
Mhm.
like nobody would have come near him.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for me, the thing that really made me so happy, I wouldn't have cared if we lost, but we out rebounded them. This was something in our in season tournament game against the Nuggets. I was literally yelling like, "We can't get a rebound on them. We have no one to get a rebound on them." And the Mavs saw that, and they changed that. Getting Daniel Gafford, who I think is an excellent rebounder. I mean, on one play, he makes Michael Malone take a timeout because he gets three straight offensive rebounds on them. That's crazy. That's that's amazing. Now, again, Jokic wasn't on the floor then. I think it was like Zeke Naji was their center at the time, but that's good. That's huge, and especially with Aaron Gordon. And Aaron Gordon was killing us in that game. So
Yeah.
I'm very happy that we've been able to kind of turn it around. Big game, big game,
I
and
mean,
when you ride that
From the
momentum.
Nuggets side of it, like it looks like Porter has found his bag from 3-point range.
Oh yeah.
Like he was like off the dribble, like he can just like he's comfortable just like a defender right in his grill. He's comfortable taking those threes where you're like, why are you
Oh
taking
yeah.
that? Oh, it's going in. Wow. Like, okay, I see why you're taking it now. Like it don't
Hmm.
matter. And yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, I remember like Jamal Murray, like he was about like wasn't that he was like 2 seconds early. He was like 8 or 10 seconds earlier, like in the shot
Something
clock.
like
Like
let me check
he's
up
trying to get a two for
about
one.
that.
I think it was like
Maybe.
a 2 for 1 like situation, and he just like screwed up massively. And the Mavs got the 2-1 to their favor, and I was just like,
So
yeah, you screwed up there.
he shot the ball. He missed it at 4.1 seconds. Tim Hardaway gets the rebound 2 seconds later for a timeout. And then Kyrie Irving with zero point 0.1 seconds gets the shot. So like yeah, Jamal Murray should have shot it maybe 3 seconds
But I think there was another
later.
possession like that. Like on the,
Mm.
I don't know if it was maybe end of first half or end of second
Oh,
half.
I
Where
see, I
like
see.
but
Let me
basically
check.
you want to get the 2-1 at the end of quarters, basically.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you want to do it in a way where like you at least you don't give the other team an opportunity to get it. So like you don't
Mhm.
shoot it with like 10 seconds early on the shot clock if it's like 5 or 6 seconds, like extended from the 24-second game clock. So I'm basically saying 10 seconds on the
Mhm.
shot clock and 29 seconds. You don't do that. You don't do that at all. And that was kind of like the situation like Murray like shot himself into.
Yeah.
Um, and looks like it played itself at the end of the game. Probably got that situation wrong specifically there. But any way you slice it, like I think their back to back play calling, like the Mavs
Mhm.
like had as well, was like very unique because like earlier it was like Luke at the top of the key,
Mhm.
so like hitting that three, and
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, just don't let Luca get the ball because he could kill us because he's done it before. Um, and then you got Kyrie on the baseline, favorable look because then you have the defender like running with them up to the 3 point line. So it's like, oh, okay, is Kyrie going for a three? Oh no, he's going for a layup. So Jokic is just playing the layup, but like he's not going to be able to get to Murray like shooting it at the elbow jumper, like a floater fadeaway, whatever that was, that looked elegant and worked,
Hmm.
and expect to contest. So like the Mavs did a good job putting the Nuggets in compromising positions with their
Hmm.
scheme and with their players.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think huge win for us. Definitely something to take into. You sent me an Instagram thing just basically like a year ago on that same on St. Patrick's Day as well. Maxi Kleber hit a game winner against the Lakers, assisted by Kyrie. Kind of flipped of how it was here. So very interesting there. I think yeah, this team is doing something, getting really locked in at the perfect time. Just need to keep this going throughout the going into the play in. Well, hopefully not the play in, but the play in if needed and the playoffs. So I'm
And the
excited.
finals, right? 4 zip.
That would be great. It's gonna be interesting, but I know people are scared of Luca. Luca can play. Luca can do his thing, and I know they're gonna try and expose him on defense. So I think that's the thing to look at here, and hopefully we can play well.
The thing is like he also had a couple possessions where he was like getting some steals, like he was locking down.
Yeah.
He obviously knows how Jokic plays. They're pretty close, but
Yeah.
like he was there were plays where he was trying on defense too. So like I think that's a little bit of a misnomer. Like
Mm.
I think he
Well,
realizes the situation. He plays up to the situation now, like given and how it was in the past. And I'm not as worried as Luca playing on defense, as guess I'm what trying to say, as
I
maybe I was like before the season started.
mhm. I think the biggest thing for me is just like defense. A big thing about defense is always knowing not just knowing where the ball is, like always seeing ball and seeing man. Because once you focus on one, either you're losing your
You
man
lose the
or you're
other.
losing the ball. And so there's just moments that I see every now and then where he's just like he gets helped on a double team. He needs to rotate, and he's kind of just jogging around, and it's like you can't. You have to be locked in, and it's something I've learned playing because when I am playing defense, like I would just kind of stand up straight and just like kind of look around, try and play defense, but you have to kind of be locked in, like stance, and be ready for anything and ready to
Yeah.
move. So I think that's just and obviously the offensive load he has, it's like valid that he can't play 100% defense and clamp people down, but there's a minimum that he needs to hit, and I think he did in that game, and that's important. And if he can lock in and do that consistently, it's gonna be great. But I think especially possibly in the future as he gets better and better with age, it could happen. So
It's an effort-based thing. Like, if
it
you look
really
at
is.
Steph, like,
Yeah.
he's improved. Like, Jokic has improved on
Hmm.
defense. Like, a lot of people are clapping. Like, yeah, you want to get a game-winning shot on Jokic, and like, I'm just like, that's just insinuating Jokic is a bad defender when it's really like
He's
he
pretty
wins
neutral
his
there.
matches more often than not. And
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, is he not the most athletic guy in the world? Sure, but oh my, Portis just missed a crazy layup.
Oh
He
yeah.
got it back, but oh
All
no,
right.
Derek White's on the floor. I hope he's okay. But
They're right.
um, yeah, but it looks like he's okay. I think he's just like shocked he's on the ground and like waiting for
Hmm.
a ref to call that. But
All right.
no, I mean, I think Luca will play up to like the level of stress the round will give like in the
Hmm.
playoffs. So I think I wouldn't be too worried about that part.
Yeah.
If if I'm the Mav, it's just like just keep this ball rolling because right
Hmm.
now they have
Yeah.
all the momentum. You don't want to lose it for sure.
Mm.
And they're in a really good spot right now. Ideally, you would want them to get into the top six, but like I'd be fine with the matchups. Like if they have to face the Suns today to get a spot at the 7th seed, I'd be comfortable with that. I think they can match up with the Thunder.
At home as well. Matchup with the Thunder. I think so. In the game after the Warriors game, without Luca, almost we're fighting to be in the game in the fourth quarter, and if not for PJ literally not making a three that game, we could have won it. So
Mm.
yeah, definitely interesting. I think with Luca, things would be different. And I mean, the last time we played them with Luca, we clapped them. So something to keep in mind.
Oh my, I don't know what the Bucks are doing, but yeah, it's going to be a tough way to climb up. Watching
Yeah.
this Boston and Milwaukee game, Boston's up by 15, and Milwaukee just turned it over. So I think that game's going to definitely go to Celtics' way.
Hmm.
Do you have any updates on your end? I think you were watching the Cavs game, right?
I did. I think the Heat won. The Heat won by 3. It was kind of close,
I
but
saw the Kings won by 31, so
the
I don't know
Kings.
what that
Well, right
means
now
for
they're
you, but
up. Right now they're up by 25, which
oh, they're
I
still
hate
playing. My bad.
Kings. I hate the Kings, man. Devontae Sabonis like triple double here, like that's good and all, but like it's completely biased as
We
well.
just needed them to lock the Lakers out, and then we're fine.
True.
Like just well, play the Lakers 4 straight times, and like good,
Yeah.
we're good there.
Just absolutely destroyed them. Yeah. I think I'm good.
Yep, me too. Thank you guys for watching, tuning in.
Yep.
Follow us at our Instagram at
Right.
amon.a.mission.
I think I got it.
Give
There
us a
we go.
follow. Gonna be updating the social media in
All
months.
right.
At some point. Follow us at YouTube at Amon A Mission, spaced out, 3 words. Comment, like, subscribe. Let us know what you were excited about. What do you think of the Kyrie game winner? What do you think of the Suns' performance? Like, do you think they're
Hmm.
out of the loop? What do you think of the Pelicans? And yeah, you guys have a good one. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Peace out.